In 1923, Rudolf Steiner said something that would get him canceled today. The person who cannot find good in evil has not yet begun their spiritual development. Before you close this video in outrage, let me tell you about the concentration camp survivor who said Steiner's fourth exercise saved her sanity, and the quantum physicist who claims it reveals how consciousness literally creates reality. This isn't toxic positivity. This is alchemy for the soul. Welcome back, reality hackers. For 3 days you've been preparing, controlling thought, awakening will, finding balance. But today Steiner's going to teach you something so radical, so misunderstood, that most spiritual teachers won't touch it. How to develop what he called the Christ perception, the ability to see divine potential in the darkest corners of existence. Let me be crystal clear about what this is not. This isn't about denying suffering exists, spiritual bypassing, pretending everything is love and light, being naive about evil. Steiner despised that superficial nonsense. He lived through World War I. He watched Europe tear itself apart. He knew darkness intimately, which is exactly why he developed this practice. Here's what Steiner understood that New Age positivity completely misses. He said, this is from his 1912 lectures in Helsinki, evil is good in the wrong place, at the wrong time, in the wrong proportion. Think about that. Fire in your fireplace? Good. Fire in your curtains? Evil. The same force, just misplaced. But here's where it gets mind-bending. Steiner claimed that when you train yourself to see the misplaced good within evil, you don't just change your perception, you change the thing itself. Now, I'm speculating here, but quantum physics has this thing called the observer effect. The act of observation literally changes what's being observed at the quantum level. Steiner was saying something similar about consciousness and reality, that your perception isn't passive, it's creative. When you see the divine spark in something, you strengthen it. When you see only darkness, you feed that too. Let me tell you about Elisabeth Vreede, one of Steiner's closest students. During the Nazi occupation, she was hidden by the Dutch resistance. In letters discovered after her death, she wrote, "Even in my persecutors, I practice seeing the human being led astray. This seeing protects my soul from hatred's poison." She wasn't excusing evil. She was refusing to let evil transform her into its image. Steiner called this practice moral alchemy. Real alchemists weren't trying to turn physical lead into gold. That was the cover story. They were turning the lead of human experience, suffering, evil, darkness, into spiritual gold. Wisdom, compassion, strength. And the Philosopher's Stone? That's your developed consciousness, the perception that can find gold in any lead. Now, what we're about to do might be the most challenging practice yet, because Steiner asks you to work with something that actually bothers you. Not your deepest trauma, please don't go there, but something that genuinely irritates or disturbs you. Maybe it's a difficult person, a frustrating situation, a world event that makes you angry. Got something in mind? Good. Now we're going to alchemize it. Find your position. By now you know, spine straight, dignity without tension. Close your eyes. 3 breaths to create sacred space, but this time, with each exhale, release any judgment you're carrying. Just for these few minutes, become an empty vessel. Breathe in and release all judgment. Again, breathing in clarity. Releasing all positions. Once more, in, and let everything go. Now bring to mind the person, situation, or thing that bothers you. Don't dive into the story. Just hold it lightly in your awareness. Notice your reaction, the tightening, the aversion, the judgment. Don't fight it. Just notice. Now Steiner's radical move. Ask yourself, what force, what quality, what potential exists here that has been misdirected? For example, is someone's aggression actually misdirected strength? Is someone's greed misdirected desire for security? Is someone's cruelty misdirected pain-seeking expression? Don't excuse the behavior. We're not saying aggression is okay. We're looking deeper. What's the force beneath the distortion? Now, can you see that force in its pure form? Strength without aggression, desire for security without greed, pain seeking healing rather than causing more pain. This is what Steiner meant by finding light in darkness, not pretending darkness is light, but finding the light that got twisted into darkness. Now here's the advanced move. Imagine that pure force, that original good, beginning to glow, just slightly, like an ember in ash. You're not changing the person or situation. You're strengthening your ability to perceive what Steiner called the divine blueprint beneath the distortion. Hold this perception. It might feel strange. Your mind might rebel, saying, but they're wrong, this is bad. Yes, the behavior might be wrong. The situation might be harmful, but can you still see the misdirected good? The light caught in the wrong vessel? Now, and this is crucial, send a gentle wish, not to the distortion, but to the pure force beneath. May you find your true expression. May you find your right place, right time, right proportion. Feel how different this is from either condemning or condoning. You're neither judge nor enabler. You're an alchemist, working with the prime matter of existence. Slowly let the image fade, but keep that alchemical perception, that ability to see beneath surfaces. Take a deep breath and open your eyes. How was that? Uncomfortable? Challenging? Good. Steiner said, comfort is the enemy of development. But notice, do you feel different toward what you were working with? Not necessarily liking it, but perhaps understanding it differently? Here's what's incredible about this practice. Steiner's students reported that when they consistently practiced this, the difficult people in their lives started changing. Not because they were sending good vibes or whatever, but because when you see someone's divine potential, you stop feeding their shadow with your resistance. You literally stop co-creating their darkness, but Steiner gave a serious warning here. He said some students become what he called gullible mystics, seeing good everywhere to the point of enabling evil. That's not this practice. You can see the misdirected good in a criminal and still lock your doors. You can understand a disease process and still take medicine. Steiner put it beautifully. The wise person sees the good in evil and still chooses good. Now here's something Steiner only shared with advanced students. He said that every time someone practices this true positivity, this alchemical seeing, it deposits what he called moral gold into humanity's collective spiritual treasury. This gold, he claimed, is what makes human evolution possible. Without alchemists transforming darkness into wisdom, humanity would sink under the weight of its own shadow. Every time you find light in darkness, you're not just healing yourself. You're contributing to what Steiner called the redemption of evil. In the ancient mysteries, this was called the Lucifer redemption, not worshiping darkness, but recognizing that even the light bearer who fell was still, at core, a light bearer. Steiner was essentially teaching the same mystery, that consciousness can redeem what unconsciousness distorted. So here's your practice for the next 24 hours. Whenever you encounter something that triggers judgment, a news story, a difficult person, even a negative thought about yourself, pause. Ask, what's the misdirected good here? Don't spend an hour analyzing, just a moment, a flash of alchemical perception. Then move on. I want to leave you with something Steiner said that completely reframes this practice. Christ did not come to judge the world, but to save it. The person who judges has not yet reached the Christ consciousness. The person who redeems has begun to embody it. Today, you practiced redemption, not through belief or faith, but through perception itself. You looked at lead and asked, where's the gold? And in that asking, in that seeing, you became the philosopher's stone. Let's anchor this with one final moment. Close your eyes. Think of humanity itself, all its beauty and horror, all its light and shadow. Can you hold it all and still say, I see the divine blueprint beneath the distortion. May humanity find its true expression. This is Steiner's fourth exercise, not naive optimism, but alchemical perception. Open your eyes. Welcome to the path of the spiritual alchemist. Tomorrow, day 5, we explore what Steiner called the most dangerous of all the exercises, open-mindedness. Dangerous because, as Steiner warned, the person who opens their mind without discrimination invites every influence, but the person who never opens their mind becomes a spiritual fossil. You'll learn Steiner's technique for developing what he called conscious porosity, becoming permeable to truth while immune to falsehood. But today you have led to transform, darkness to alchemize, divine blueprints to perceive. Remember, every moment of true seeing deposits gold in humanity's treasury. Be generous with your alchemy. Until tomorrow, fellow transformers of darkness, may your perception be ever golden.